thank you so much for coming to talk to us today. It's super cool having somebody in the sports industry. So I was wondering, how can I find and work towards my personal goals during this time of crisis?
Yeah. So I want you to start to think about something wild. So I teach this to head coaches. When I go out and if you were the head coach, if you were like, I just put in like Dave Aranda as the new head coach at Baylor. He formerly was the defensive coordinator for the, LSU. I mean, it was like he was a championship. He throttled Clemson. I'm great friends with Dabo and all these guys, et cetera. And I like to teach head coaches this strategy on how to recruit. Okay. How would you win the home visit? And see, I really believe you and I, with our goals and dreams, okay, have to understand how to win interviews, how to win today, so that we can then all of a sudden be so far ahead of everybody else, okay? And so I want everybody to think of, these are the 4 things that people think about when you walk in and meet them. So if you knew these 4 things, okay, dang, it's like me telling you the test answer before the test. I mean, it's fantastic. And so this is a strategy that's so wild. And then I'm going to show you the opposite of what the world thinks of this strategy. So we have a whole strategy that I'm going to tell you is just wildly successful. And then I'm going to tell you what actually people are doing. It's crazy. So the first thing, and the reason this goes for your goals and dreams, I'll connect it all at the end on why, but follow this, because you're going to have at some point, you're going to want something and you're going to need something. And everyone today, whether they need a loan, whether they need a reference, whether they have to do this, you're going to go to someone, because God created us in a position that you can't get this alone. We need people, and people are bridges to your goals and dreams. And so God gave you these people. That's why I wrote The Power of Who, the people who matter most. And everyone should read that book, because, it's like exploded again. I first wrote it in the initial downturn of 2008 and 9. And so now, then I wrote this. I'm writing a new book now in a pandemic. I'm writing a new book that's going to be wildly good. But okay, so here it is. 4 things. The first thing they think about when you walk in the room: do I know you? Okay, so why are you in my office? Who introduced you to get into my office? And so who that person is a big difference about it. So if I got in and your dad is my best friend and he introduces you, well, you're like gold, because he's a friend of mine and I trust him. So people who know someone, so, most people, they get a bunch of people to recommend them in. I'm doing a search one time for a basketball coach, and Coach K calls me to recommend somebody. And so he calls me and he says, hey, I really love this guy. You need to know this person. And then when he says his name, he mispronounces the guy's name. Well, so that can't be your best friend here. You can't know this guy. And so my only point is he's a fantastic human being, and he wanted to help this guy, but he didn't know him and he just felt needed. That's not the person you want to have introduce you. Now, it's good when Coach K does it, because he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. However, I need you to make sure, if you have one person who knows this person well and they already have a relationship, you have an 87% chance of getting the deal done. 87 versus 13. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm going for 87. So the factor is, what this stems to think about your goals and dreams is that there's a bunch of people who are going to be able to help you bridge your goal and dream. And to get there, you need an introduction. And so what you've been taught is that friends in business are taboo. So let me get this correct. We're supposed to work with a bunch of people we don't know and don't trust. No, that's stupid. No, we have to use it. So most people say, I can't ask my mom and dad. I can't use my uncle. This would be like, hey, I shouldn't do that. I should really do this on my own effort. Seriously? What, are you crazy? I mean, they're not trying to do your job. They're just doing an introduction. And the fact that you came from a heritage that was all of a sudden something good, that the person knew, that your dad, your mom was this fantastic person, your uncle, her brother, that would all be a great reference. And you need the intro. Okay? Do I know you? Here's number 2. These are really complex. Do I like you? Okay, so the second question is, do I like you? So if you walked into the meeting and you started to talk about the person who introduced you and you spend 5 minutes, usually interviews are over in 5 minutes. They've already made a decision. The people are quickly, cognitively coming to a point of how they think about you. And so if you talk about the other person, and so if you ever said, gosh, Bob Beaudine, Mr. Beaudine had like introduced me to you, you could probably make fun of me for a long time just because of how crazy I am on this webinar, little Zoom here, because they'd have fun. Oh yeah, he's such a goof. He's so positive. He's this. And so now he automatically starts to like you. You know what percentage you're at now? 94% versus 6. So what people do is they just send in their resumes. They do mass emails. They hand out business cards like they're mints to a bunch of people they don't know. Do you think that works? I mean, I get 52,000 resumes a year. Dear sir, to whom it may concern, dear recruiter. I've never placed somebody from a resume. Well, then they say, well, why do you ask them for that? I don't. They come unsolicited. And so these people are fantastic people. They just don't know the hierarchy of thought. So, do I know you? Do I like you? Then guess what they do? They turn and they say, let's talk about my needs. And the next question is, do you understand my needs? So think about this. People who are out of jobs right now should be thinking about making a list of who they want to go to work for. They should be then and they make a list of 10 companies, 10 jobs. It doesn't matter where. And then they should think of the 10 people they would report to. It's all online. This is all known. Then they should go to their friends, the people they know. You can't go to a bunch of people you don't know. I mean, if you got in an accident today, you're not going to pull out a card from a business person you just met to call them to say, would you help me? I've been in an accident. No, you're going to call your mom and your dad. You're going to call your brother, your sister. You're going to call people you know. You're going to call your best friend. So it's crucial here that, hey, do I know you? Do I like you? And so when I'm in trouble, I've got to understand. Now we're going to get to understand the need. We get to now, I should have done a bunch of homework on this company. I should know everything about the person who's sitting across from me, because I'm not the who, they're the who. This is a big mistake. Again, you're talking about how I'm going to be a person who connects, serves, and loves, and it's not about you. You are the director of love. And when you talk about this, you are the person who knows and does this. And see, when people see people who are this selfless, they see people who are yes people, who make things happen. I mean, people always say, oh, I just don't have time to do that. Listen, time's our enemy, but timing is our best friend. Now, this is a paradox. Time is our enemy. Timing is our best friend. I mean, you got to let that really sink into your head. Time. This is I just don't have enough time. I can't get up and spend, I can't read your book 2 chairs. I just don't have time. Seriously? 5 minutes. 5 minutes in the presence of God changes all your best laid plans. What are you, crazy? I mean, so if there's a 1% chance that the guy who created the whole world would talk to you, would you go? Everybody says yes. I say, where have you been? And then they say to me, hey, so what's he going to say to me? And I said, I didn't write 3 chairs. I wrote 2. It's just you and him. You got to go. So okay. Number 1, hey, do I know you? And if you didn't start there, you're all of a sudden behind. 3 is, do you understand my needs? And then last is, are you the best for me? This is where you get to shine a little bit, because early in your career as high school and early college, what you are selling is personal qualities that transcend the technical. I'm selling you my energy. I'm selling you on my positivity. I'm selling you on the fact that I have come and have been on teams. I've already been in sports. I've already done things that I understand. I help in charities. This is who I am. I like to serve. I like to solve people's problems. I'm a person who, if you give me something, I'm going to work hard at it. And listen, I got lots of time. I'm willing. And so what do you do with people like that? People who connect, serve, and love? I don't know. I hire them. They get promoted. They're the last person who get furloughed in this process. And so, in the hierarchy of thought. So here's the way this other works now. And so I want you to understand, if talent was the reason everyone got jobs, if that was the reason, and a lot of people think that talent, listen, I got to do this based on my talent. If talent was the reason everyone got the job, how would we have Congress and Senate? I mean, I'm just telling you, this is crazy. No, you got to have some who here. You've got to be a person who makes this happen. So here's the way the world works. They don't work on the hierarchy of thought. Do I know you? Do I like you? Do you understand my needs and are you best? They flip it. They do it the other way. And so what you do is you come in and say, I'm the best. And that's what sometimes coaches do. And so haven't you seen me on LinkedIn? I sent you my resume. Didn't you read it? No, I didn't. I got 52,000 other ones, so I didn't read that either. I don't know you. And they go, hey, well, so-and-so said something to me. I saw on your list of LinkedIn people that so-and-so is one of your friends. What are you talking about? I do positive stuff every single day on LinkedIn. I got tons of people liking me and this. I don't know them. But it wouldn't take someone to say that you wouldn't take you 10 minutes to do research to find out someone who knows me. And then you start with people who are known. This world we live in is kind of scary now a little bit in some of that area. And so you start out this. So they come out and say, I'm the best. Like, you wrote your resume. How would I know that? I'd rather have, it's never good to toot your own horn. It's always good for somebody else to sell how great you are. And so the second thing they say is, listen, I understand your needs. Now, any woman would tell you, your mom, your sisters, anybody who's online who's female will immediately tell you that, does a woman let a man understand her needs if she didn't know them? Come on. They're not, you don't understand my needs. I mean, I just met you. What's my wife's name? And have you been to my house for a barbecue? This is crazy. I mean, people like to make this out to be like I could just send my resume and I'm waiting like Bob Barker is going to call me and say, come on down and Price is Right. He's retired. He's not calling. This is crazy. So what I suggest is that you take a different viewpoint, because after they say, hey, listen, I'm the best and I understand your needs, they roll in, you're going to like me. And then at some point you're going to get to know me. You think that works? No. So the first thing is, if you want your goals and dreams, here's what Zig Ziglar said about that. If you want your dreams to come true, you have to make other people's dreams come true. Now, one of my best friends is Tomziegler. I mean, we have lunch. We talk all the time. I talked to him yesterday. We just sit and inspire each other. I mean, we don't talk about a lot of fluff sometimes. We're like in this, and then I say, hey, so what are you thinking about today? And he goes, I'm creating a new little book. Get out of here. You just wrote another little book? Oh yeah, I'm thinking today on people don't understand how to do Zoom, and they're not really creating relationships. So I'm trying to talk to you like you're all right next to me. And of course you feel it, because the energy that we can have, it doesn't matter. It goes right through wherever technology we have, if you're really genuine and you really care. So you got to care about people, and people know that. They can think, if you want something so bad, what you're going to do is you're going to start doing mortar attacks and sending out everybody who doesn't know everybody, and they're going to try to do it. That's really annoying. Or you're going to want something so bad. And listen, here's what you always want to remember, that dogs and dates and prospective bosses all can smell that. And they ain't going to give it to you. It's just not good. And so you never want to be a person. You want to be a person who carries them and has plans, and they've written it down, and they're talking to God. They know where they're going. They're doing something to help people. And listen, you can't put a light under this bushel. It's going to burn right through that, and everyone's going to know who you are. I'll find you. You cannot actually have to worry about that. You do one thing better than anybody in the world. And I need you to have the type of friends who inspire you to that thought. I mean, I have 3 girls, and they're all different. And one of my daughters went to Baylor and then did that for a little bit and wasn't totally on it. And then my middle daughter went to Mizzou, and she then got her master's at SMU. And then my other one's a Tiger, and she was doing a bunch of stuff with Circuit of America. All 3 of my girls are. I just spent time seeding them about how great they were, no matter what, because you're going to go through ups and downs. And we need somebody, a grandpa, to kind of come in and remind you, no, you're okay. No, you're fantastic. Don't let anyone fool you. No, you're unbelievable. That's not true. I mean, who's talking to you? Every single day we hear this little message, which you got to turn off that negative self-talk. All this stuff, you got to turn on. You got to start filling your mind with who you are and whose you are in the path. And so my oldest daughter is an Instagram influencer, and she has 300,000 people who follow her every single day, and she's just awesome. She sings, she does this, she has all these things. She loves to help people. She does it. My middle daughter is a teacher in Frisco, Texas, and she does, she just kills it. She's the, she does all of the photography and the broadcast journal, and she does the yearbook, and she's a photographer on the side. My youngest is now in real estate and does it all, and all of them finally are like off dad's thing, and they do really well, and they're all successful. But it's not like I didn't know that was going to be the day, right? And I can tell you with great confidence, and I do this for a living, I've done search for 40 years, is that each of you are going to be ridiculous. You can't even be listening today if all of a sudden you didn't have a future and a hope and prosperous and unbelievable growth.